Picasso, legend has it, was in his 50s when a man came to see him and said, "Picasso, I would like one of your paintings." "No problem," Picasso said, and starts painting. After 20 minutes, he hands over the painting and says, "That'll be $20,000, please." $20,000, says the man, for 20 minutes of painting? "No, no," says Picasso, 50 years and 20 minutes of painting. This is the first and last time I'll ever compare myself to Picasso, but I feel a little bit like him, telling you in about 20 minutes what's taken many years to grow inside of me, working in universities and higher education. And I look at the higher education system a little bit like Picasso looked at that man, because it also has a tendency to focus on and reward the last 20 minutes. And I wonder, could higher education look at the whole person and the whole history? Please close your eyes. Right now, you are here. Your bodies are here. You've brought your intellect. I hope you've brought your heart and a sense of what's right and good. Your creativity is here, your willingness to communicate and connect. In short, you are here in your full human spirit. Historically, higher education doesn't deal with that. It deals with intellect and skills. So higher education is a little bit like in the painting business. It usually frames some very specific parts of reality, colors them in, hands them back to us as degrees in whatever. And that doesn't tell a 360-degree story. So I wonder, what would it mean for higher education to open its eyes and educational scope to the full spectrum of human reality? So what's in the picture for higher education in the 21st century, based on some major driving forces I've identified? What we need is a new higher education movement. We need for some universities to become cross-versities. And here is our picture. So what you see there, in the middle, is the respectable, solid manor house dominating the landscape like our universities today. At the bottom, you see an ecosystem of change, growing roots, and slowly encroaching on that building. And at the top, we have a weather system of clouds brewing into a bit of a storm. Now, the ecosystem consists of education entrepreneurs that challenge the status quo, like the Nomad School for Social Entrepreneurs I helped set up in Amsterdam. And there are many more, both physical and online initiatives, too many to mention, and these are just the ones that were willing to pay me for putting them on my slide. No, that was a joke. But together, they usher in the age of personalized education and cross-reality learning. Students embrace a hybrid learning model. Together, collectively and individually, they design not their curriculum vitae, but their particulum vitae. I'm thinking of a lady, for instance, who took herself from Australia to Berlin, designed her own handmade masters, microfinances it via her website. The consumer as producer in education, we've seen this in other disciplines. Now, by the time my daughter is ready for it, she will insist her education be no longer based on the restaurant service model. She'll want to go straight through the restaurant into the kitchen to learn from the master chef together with other hungry learners, or they'll just open up their own restaurant. So you could say, therefore, education becomes as personalized as choosing who you lose your virginity to or form a relationship with. Now, I'm not even sure if that's an entirely good thing, but this is the age of DIYT, do-it-yourselves together. An ambassador for this world, by the way, is Bill Gates, when he says within 5 years, most of the best education will come over the web. I don't agree, but I do agree when he adds, we should get credit for all our knowledge, no matter where and how we came by it. Some progressive education is cross-campus. Enter the Fab Lab movement. I owe some of my insights to meeting MIT professor Neil Gershenfeld, who is the founder of Digital Fabrication Laboratories, in short, Fab Labs. There are currently 30 Fab Labs worldwide and counting. One just opened in Afghanistan. Fab Labs are equipped with state-of-the-art technology for the digital programming and fabrication of materials and machines. They have the same DNA as their MIT parent. Their mission is to bring the means of collective digital fabrication to ordinary citizens in the way that libraries once did for books. But here's the snag. When the manager of the Fab Lab, Basque Country Fab Lab, went to see every single higher education institution in this region this year, they all said two things. One, fabulous, we would love to send our science students to you. And two, but we can't. We cannot accredit what they learn there. This, ladies and gentlemen, we need to change. If education can recognize lecture hall-based knowledge transfer, it must be able to recognize theoretical and practical skills and knowledge learned gained at MIT level. My daughter will one day refer to my way of learning as educational bulimia. And she'll want access to the best nutrients and recipes in education. And that's why I have prepared today for you a world premiere. I am dressed in front of you here in a dress that was made in the Fab Lab Amsterdam by Hof van Beek. It's the first time anyone ever wears Fab Lab fashion. And it is to symbolize, I'll do a little twirl for you. I hope it's still okay. No, it isn't. Oh, we didn't see that. This is to symbolize the age of personalized education footprint, and where each piece connects to lots of other pieces and collectively creates the particulum vitae. But we need even more. As we move higher up into our picture, to the sky, we have population changes, technological explosions, scientific breakthroughs, and increasing lifespan is also a major driving force here. Baby boomers retire, or not, and live longer, and what we might be facing is a new type of war situation, according to a recent reputable study carried out in Europe. And this new type of war situation is intergenerational war. And factors here include eroding social contracts, future of pensions, medical care, and tougher competition between the generations for resources. And I think there is a massive opportunity here for higher education to expand its business model and host dynamic learning journeys across generations that create the cross-fertilized knowledge and create innovations that are good for the world. Have a look at a project that I ran this summer, the world's first social innovation safari with Kennisland. So 30 international individuals came together across ages from 20 to 60 and everything in between, and worked together for 1 week in a pressure cooker experience on 5 external client projects. 4 out of 5 are still ongoing and being implemented today. What they did was they did teamwork training, rapid prototyping, and solution modeling on day 5. This experience changed my life because I realized that under certain conditions, including cross-generational learning, that's something that wants to come out of this box. Learning across generations, people can get into flow, rapid trust situations, rapid collaboration, and rapid prototyping. And very little here reminds of the lecture hall. Now, of course, cross universities don't need to have their learners with them all year for several years. They can actually make more efficient use of our time and their time. Obviously, you want your doctor to really know about medicine. But I interviewed a PhD of one of the most famous leading cancer research institutes in the world, or in Europe, and I asked, of all the scientific knowledge that you had to gain over the years, how much of it could you have gained based on SPIRT work, which I just showed you, and DIYT model? And she said, 80%. Did you ever have to study ethics, I asked. Yes, once I was tested on how fast I could write down ethical answers in an ethics exam. I was never tested on how fast or how well I could form an ethical thought. I think that's something that needs to be addressed, and that's also something that wants to come out of the box, ethics. Okay, but we need one more thing as we move into the really stormy part of our picture. We see, oh, and sorry, I meant to mention, there is some innovation happening within the system. We have learning labs in Amsterdam, Generate, and Spain just saw the launch of Marbella University, who are training in the management of humanity. But as we move into the stormy part of our picture, we need even more. Ray Kurzweil says singularity is just around the corner. In a crude definition, that refers to the moment that machines will outperform human capacity. And the first singularity university in Europe will start preparing people for this paradigm shift as of 2011. In 2008, Chris Perry predicted that within 30 years, we will be downloading information directly into our brains. And The Economist reported today that in this world of smart systems, one barrier to progress is that we don't have a language of understanding, no vocabulary across disciplines and sectors. And that's another thing that wants to come out of this box. And it's something education, higher education, can get involved in. My favorite daydream in this stormy world is to imagine my daughter at the age of 25 monitoring her own brain in real time and manipulating how information and learning travels down her neural networks. So you could say the job application of the future will be a dynamic brain scan. And should I start a conversation with my daughter in that scenario about her education, she'll say, oh, Mom, education is everywhere. It's like you're trying to talk to me about my left arm. It's just there. It's going to be with me all my life. And that life is going to last a lot longer. Her generation really faces most profound ethical challenges of how to organize human robotic affairs. As if higher education shouldn't and wouldn't get involved in hosting this journey into this kind of future. I think we should remember that the future comes to us uneducated. It's our job to teach it the capacities and the values that we want and need it to have. And therefore, I conclude by proposing that we make a real educational move on the future. And in doing so, I take inspiration from something I deeply love, which is tango. Now, when you dance tango, you need to bring, again, your body, your heart, your good intentions, your communication, your creativity, your mind, and your, your spirit to it. When that works on a tango salon or in a tango salon, you see an entire ecosystem of dancers moving together and innovating the dance at the social level. They don't learn steps, they learn intentions. We tend to teach a lot of steps in higher education. We need to start teaching, hosting the development of intentions that are good for the world. I don't want to preach at you, but I just think this is such a great opportunity for higher education. Think of physics, gravity, music industry, music, economics, self-interest. What will they say in a few years' time about education and knowledge transfer? So I think what we're missing in higher education right now is initially just one space that is like a tango salon, that cross-fertilizes knowledge across disciplines, across generations, sometimes based on spurt work, sometimes based on university study, hybrid learning models, that works across cross-sensory, cross-campus, across university, wants to come out of this box. They always say it takes two to tango. I always say that's nonsense. The dance floor is more crowded and more diverse than ever, which could be such a great chance for our future global educational dance. So what does it really take to make a move on the future? It takes all of you to tango. Bilbao, I'd like you to stand up, please. Okay, I'd like you simply to make one move with me today, to help some of these things come out of this box. We don't need creativity to come out of the box. We need these things to come out of the box. So I'm simply asking you to make one move with me. If you have been moved by anything at all that you've heard today, everything you've heard today, then, don't do it yet, then I would like you to take a move. If you haven't, feel free. In tango, we know that sometimes it's not yet time to move. But if you think it's time to make even just a small step forward, then let's take this step right now at 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you for moving with me.